call this meeting to order. And we have a special presentation tonight. It's in honor of late Bob Marcy. I believe he has quite a few family members here today, so we'd like to present you all with a special plaque for Bob in honor of all of his service that he's given to the city of Clinton. And I'd like to give an opportunity for you fellow councilmen to say something if you so choose to. I know you all served with him a lot longer than I did.
Well, I'm certainly glad to see all of them. I know all the family members and Keith and his wife. Bob was an awfully good councilman. It served in two different stints. You know, he got off and then was reappointed and then reelected. And he always had the people at heart and did a great job and always concerned about doing the right thing. And we'll all miss Bob. And thank you all for coming tonight. Good man.
My mom was a youth minister at the Methodist Church, and she said that Bob was always willing to help her out when she needed it. Like extraordinary things that he would do in his time and effort that he put forth that very few people are willing to do. So there's a plaque. I'd like to present it to really appreciate you very much so.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good.
There we go. Ready? One more, just in case. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Everybody did serve. Congratulations very much. Okay. Now it's time for opening prayer. Is Gary Jones here? Chief Carpenter, would you mind leading us in prayer tonight?
Will you join me in prayer, please? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and many blessings. We thank you for these people that are on our council, and thank you for their willingness to serve this community in the positions that they serve in and try to make decisions that will better the community for those of us that live in Clinton. Heavenly Father, we pray that you will be with them tonight as they discuss issues, that they will listen to what is said and take you into their thought process and always use what they feel is the best interest in the direction that they feel like that you may be leading them to make these decisions. Pray that you'll be with us as citizens, that we do the best we can to improve this city as well. Guide, guard, and direct us. In Jesus' name.
Wheeler?
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ready to leave this? Okay, consent agenda. We'll now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Trustee Huber?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Lauer?
Yes.
Trustee Roloff?
Yes.
And Mayor?
Yes. Action items. Do we consider claims there? That's part of the consent agenda. Action items, we have no action items. Trustee reports, any comments from council regarding this particular authority? Seeing none, city manager report, Mr. Booth.
I'll save all my information for the city council.
Okay. Audience participation regarding this particular authority? Seeing none, we'll now entertain a motion to adjourn the hospital, recreational, solid waste, industrial, and airport authority meeting.
So moved.
I second it.
Trustee Huber?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Now on to Public Works Authority. First off, we'll consider a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Hublin?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Action items, we have one here, acknowledge receipt of sewer line permit for Commerce Road from ODEQ. Mr. Hughes.
Council, this is just an acknowledgement that we are extending our sewer lines required by DEQ. The council understands we're extending this the sewer line 884 feet. This will bring in our two new companies, Task and Wright Trucking, and this will become the sewer for the new platted industrial park we're working on. So just acknowledge that that the city of Clinton received this permit from DEQ, and we will then move forward on the project.
How long do we get some bids sent out?
We've got bids already. We expect in around 2 weeks we'll have it completed. Stephen's on it today, so.
Okay.
And that's going to the two new businesses?
Correct. And
Does
it
it
also,
go any further into the property?
no, it doesn't go any further, but the manholes are there we designed, Joe really designed it for us. It's gonna line up with our new design of that park, which we're required at this station, but that'll fit all into that. So the concept is gonna go with that as we move forward.
First stage of a good investment, sounds to me like. Do we need to vote on this at all?
Yes, please.
Okay, so now consider,
Just to acknowledge that we received it.
okay, consider a motion to acknowledge receipt of this particular permit from ODEQ.
I'll leave the motion.
I'll second it.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
Trustee Hublin?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Trustee reports regarding this particular authority? Not seeing any? Oh, I'm sorry, yes, sir.
When do you think we'll have the bid ready to go for the road?
I talked to Joe last week. He had a draftsman issue, fired him, brought in another one. And actually, he told me that about 3 weeks, and that was last week, so now probably around 2 weeks, he would actually be able to have both utilities and roads going out at the same time. So they should be on the street, information to city clerk to get advertised in a couple of weeks, I expect. That's what Joe told me last week.
2 weeks.
Yeah. And then we'll advertise for the required 21 days, and then get to council. We're hoping it'd probably be June. So,
What about our new road, through ODOT?
we have the easements, we followed that, we got the information back from the county. We sent those easements up to ODOT. ODOT is requiring a few other affidavits that they called and told me this week. So I've got a list of a few items. I got to send their appraisal and some other information to them, some letters. I've got to send the misery and some things. So I have to send some things back to them, but that process is still moving forward. But we have the easements, which was the longest to get. Now we're wrapping up this
We're going to be bidding that probably within the next couple.
As soon as I get the paperwork back to them, and they give my engineer the okay to bid, we're going to bid.
Good. When does he expect to break ground up there? On the hotel?
On the La Quinta project?
Yes.
I don't know yet. I mean, we're still working with him on some water and sewer concerns he has, so I don't know that at this time. He has his plans, but we still haven't given him a permit, so hopefully we'll see that, we'll see a full set of plans for Toby to review and also our fire folks to review, fire marshal review as well. So, but we don't have those yet, so I expect those in a few weeks, he told me. I don't have them yet.
All right. Do you have a report here? Skip the last.
Yeah, just keep-
Yeah, you have a good one there. All right. Audience participation regarding this particular authority? Seeing none, consider a motion to adjourn the Public Works Authority.
I'll make a motion we adjourn the public works. I'll second.
Trustee Hublin?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Now on to the regular meeting of the Clinton City Council. Consider a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action items, consider appointment of vice mayor. Here we go. Comments?
I'd make the motion that we appoint Jason Hewlin, vice mayor.
I think you
Motion.
do a fantastic job.
I'll second.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Bruce?
Okay. Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. I don't understand how I had to campaign for so long, getting 5 seconds. We were already expecting a speech or something, a song and dance or something. Okay, action item B, consider appointment to motor board, and this is on me. I'm on the motor board. We're meeting in Burns Flat once a month. And Steve, you want to explain exactly what the motor board is?
Well, Midwest Oklahoma Development Authority basically handles a lot of the rentals at Burns Flat. The housing, there used to be base housing, do a lot of that. Also actually looking at finance some new homes, it looks like, they're trying to do some stuff as well. But mostly in the housing area, and it's a development authority. And we are required to have somebody on that board, and you mentioned that you couldn't make the meetings.
I missed the last meeting and I felt terrible about it, and I'm spread too thin if I go there, and I'm not gonna be able to commit enough time, sufficient time to do it justice. So I'm retiring, resigning. Now we're
Make
getting.
a motion to put Jason on that board?
Yes, sir, I would appreciate that motion.
Second.
How many, can I ask a question?
No.
How many people are on this motor board? Do you know, Steve? Other?
On the motor itself, we're talking about
Seven, I think it's seven.
Yeah.
It's primarily city managers, there's a city manager, sayers on there,
It's a mayor.
the mayors, and everybody knows what they're doing.
And a vice mayor?
They
No, it's motor.
actually come off of the MOA board.
Yep.
And you're on the MOA board.
Yes, yes.
And you have to be on the MOA board to be on the motor board. And you're on that, and I think there's probably 7 people on that.
7 says that, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the communities, it's probably that, City, Sayer, Burns Flat, that whole, surrounding that, Cordell, that surrounding area around that area is what it represents.
And they make grants, they've got quite a bit of money.
They do quite a bit of money. Yes, sir, they do. They have juice and punch when you show up. It's fun, it's good.
But I think Jason would do a good job, and I make the motion that he be, since he's on the MOA board, that he be appointed to the motor board.
I will do that.
I'll second the motion.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes, consolidation of power. Action item C, consider staff recommendation regarding the asphalt bids. Mr. Booth.
Council, our best bid was Circle S Construction. And you can see the bid form. We've highlighted or check marked what we recommend. What I've done here, we originally looked at about $150,000, but because Chapman Road is going to primarily push back into the next fiscal year, I'd like to dedicate about $175,000, do what I can, and we've highlighted these roads. So we recommend these, and that they individually bid on and to help out really areas and sections all over town.
There they are, right there.
I feel like that the ones that we're not doing this year should be on the list next year.
Yeah, we would, staff feels the same way. We'd make those our number one priority list of the ones that we don't do this year, be the front of the list next year.
Were we, the 13th from No Way to Gary, were we planning, did that include the concrete surface up by the railroad tracks, by Dunn? Did it go all that?
No, it did not include the concrete. It was simply the
Okay.
asphalt.
Okay.
It wasn't the concrete.
Okay.
We may need to look at that individually as a separate project, yeah.
I was gonna ask, if you were gonna overlay the concrete, maybe we could look at doing something maybe next year on some crack sealing on the concrete.
I think we need to do that. I think we've got quite a few different areas around it. And we're having, and I'll just let the council know since we're on this subject, we've got some issues with our crack sealer, but we're gonna resolve those and get those fixed so we can get out and get some more done. But you'll see more and more. Right now, you're seeing folks out on Gary Boulevard replacing panels. But we're going to be doing more of that this time of year. You'll see more activity out there.
Well, I'd make the motion that we approve staff's recommendation on the $175,100 worth of asphalt overlay.
I'll second that.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action item D, consider staff recommendation regarding slurry seal bids. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, council, basically Vance Brothers, we agree with Vance Brothers and their pricing, and we recommend the $54,000 project to begin sealing those streets that were listed, the entire section.
Comments from council?
I would just like, I'd like to say, Steve just started this program, what, a couple of years ago? This is a really good program. I had a lot of streets done in Ward 1, looked like last year, and they look really well. I think it's a very worthwhile cause for the money we spend. It does a really good job. Thank you, Steve, for doing that.
When will they be finished?
Before June 30th and billed, so in this fiscal year.
Pretty quick.
Yes.
So consider a motion to approve the staff recommendation regarding the slurry seal bids.
I'll make a motion, we approve the slurry seal bids. I'll second.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action item E, consider purchase of police department unit, Mr.
Yeah, council, we had a unit that was in a accident that was totaled by insurance. We received our insurance proceeds, over $18,000. Chief came to me with a slight plan. He'd like to take he has a black 2009 Charger, and put it in our fleet as a patrol in the patrol division, and then find an SUV for his detective. I thought that was a good idea. He went out and got quotes and tried to find locally from the dealerships here, and got something back. This is a 2007 Tahoe, and he'd like to recommend it, and I would agree with him that this would be, I looked at the unit myself. Looks like a good, clean unit, and his detectives are excited about that if council would agree, and we'd like to recommend that.
Not a canine unit.
No,
No.
we do not have K-9 in our unit.
Comments?
Sounds like a good plan.
Sounds like a good, great plan.
So the insurance money we received, that covered the
This
entire
covers the
cost?
entire part of it.
I'd move that we follow the recommendation and buy this 2007 Chevy Tahoe.
Second.
I'll second that.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action item F, consider renewal of agreement with Signer Emergency Medical Services for ambulance services. Mr.
Council, this June 30th, our agreement with Signer is up. I sat down, visited with Johnny Redis here, and you can ask any questions you have. We looked and sat down. This is primarily the same exact contract. Slight changes would be, it is a 5-year agreement, 1-year increments, renewed every year. You'll notice that in the last page, but the pricing did not change. We're very pleased with it. The city attorney reviewed it with me. We'd like to recommend it, and they do offer a good service for the community. It was essential to our public safety. They, one of the things was in the last agreement that will be in this one. We have not had this public safety board, but we're going to make sure we are meeting on a regular basis with fire, police, and Signer to make sure we're on the same page on public safety in this community, and I think that's going to be a good thing, and their willingness to do that is good, and our staff's always willing to do that. So, but really, we're very pleased with the contract. We appreciate them keeping the pricing the same for our citizens. We recommend it.
How does the 5-year, 1-year work?
128, and there's a 128-day clause that if one of the parties like to terminate it, they could, prior to termination, they could, in writing, provide that, then we could opt out of it if we'd like.
Either either party.
Mhm.
And how many water meters does the city have?
That's 4,000 approximately.
All right, any other comments from council? Questions for Mr. Tony Red?
Oh, just to clarify, it's 3 years.
Oh, he's correct, 14, 15, and 16. Thank you for just 3 years.
Yeah,
I was thinking 5 and 13.
Well, you gigged me on one, so I thought I'd use it.
yeah, thank you.
I'd make the motion that we approve this rate.
I'll second it.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action item G, consider surplus of property at 103 East Court. Steve.
Council, we have a property, this happens periodically, we've got a number of actual properties we own right now that we end up doing this through foreclosure, through abatement. We actually, wasn't aware this was not on our surplus list, and we have had some interest. So we would definitely agree that we'd like to surplus this, and with this, we will bundle our properties and do the public auction and get it back to you next month to sell those and review that. So, probably around been about a year and a half now that we surplus that with you. We'd like to add this to the list, and then we'll begin the public auction.
Sounds good.
Sounds great. Any other comments? No, nothing?
No, I was gonna make a motion, we add this to the surplus property list.
All right, do we need to make a motion also for the auction?
No, that's, we'll take care of that and we'll bring it to you.
All right. Sure.
Second.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action item H. Consider election of 2 trustees to the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group. OMAG. Steve.
Well, we have 2 trustees, one from Bartlesville, one from the treasurer, Walters, and city manager. OMAG is our insurance company, and we have a voting right on that board. So your basic job is to decide if you want to reappoint any of these trustees for their terms that are up. And you can also see the trustees that are coming up next year and the year after.
Well, I think we'll go with Shepherd from Walters, he's currently on there, and then Mike Brown, Mayor, whether we need to try to get it, work with them. I'm a little irritated they put him on the OML board instead of you, but maybe next time. But I'd make a motion that we go, vote for Mike Brown and John Shepherd.
Do we have a second?
Sure, I'll second it.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action item I. We need to move into executive session, so we'll consider a motion to move into executive session and to invite Steve with us as authorized by this particular statute.
I make a motion that we convene an executive session and include the city manager.
Yes, sir.
I'll second.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Oh, I was gonna make the motion that we resume into the regular session of the city council. Is that? That?
That's good.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes, and no action was taken as a result of the executive session. Council reports, comments from council? It's your last time tonight. Seeing none, city manager's report. Mr. City Manager.
Council, a couple items, to remind you, we have planned Tuesday at Frisco Center, 5:30, a budget workshop to go over this next year's budget. I will let you know, we are behind. We are making every effort to have the budget in your hands by Friday for review. If we are somewhat not able to do that, we are really trying. me being out a week kind of put things behind, and I apologize, but we may have to reschedule that meeting for another time, but we're gonna try to get it to you Friday, so you have ample time to review it and then have good questions, because I don't wanna give it to you and you not have, don't wanna waste your time and have not a chance to read it. So we're doing what we can, but I want you to be aware of that. We'll let you know, and we're working what we can to get it done to you. We're getting a lot done every day, but we want to get you a good quality budget. And we're excited. Things look good, but it's important that we go through everything, and we've got some things we haven't got to yet. So with that said, though, moving on to something else. I tell you what, we just an update. Fire progress. The fire station's looking good. We had a few weather days, but that's good. We like the weather because we need some moisture. But we're still seeing June as close to a final completion date, and hopefully then we can have something in the open house and then be moved in July. So we're excited about that. I mentioned earlier you're seeing a lot of street guys out. Also I saw a crew down here on 5th Street as we're going communications from City Hall to the new fire station. So we've got crews out doing that, but they're also doing a lot of Gary Boulevard panel replacement right now. Again, that's a great project with ODOT with the $50,000 matching share there. It's a good project. This last weekend, and I'm a little partial and biased to this because my son was involved with the baseball, but between soccer and baseball, and Lucas here and put on a great soccer tournament, our facilities are really starting to get used a lot, and we're really excited about that. We had 400 kids. Over 400 kids estimated that played and participated from out of town, out of Clinton. Doesn't include the Clinton kids, but out of town. They were involved with both soccer and baseball. And a few years back, the Department of U.S. Chamber put a kind of a summary together and try to explain what that economic impact does to communities, and try to understand what an average parent spends. We did this. I did this a little bit a couple of years ago. Looked into this, and in this part of the country, an average parent spends about $150. Now, for me, that's probably a little light. I spoil my kid a little bit when we go out of town, but an average kid, average parent spends $150, but 400 kids, that's $60,000 directly into our economy. Well, also, the average dollar will typically roll over about 7 times in a community. So that's about $420,000 in how that outside dollar that came into Clinton is rolling over. So you're really seeing how Acme is playing a part in our community. But on top of that, if we can get about 10 tournaments like that a year, you're talking about over $4 million worth of financial impact and economic impact to the community. So I just wanted to let the council know that those are some of the real good things that you're seeing in our parks, and things like our Route 66 and some of these things we do. These are all real good things that bring outside dollars in our community. They roll over and help business and obviously help tax dollars and help our roads, streets, and those kind of things. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little quick summary because that's a real good thing that we're seeing going on right now.
It's the good numbers.
There's about 400.
We estimate between you told me how many teams you had there, and then with the baseball teams, that's about 400 kids. An average of.
I did the figures as well, just strictly off the soccer tournament, and we had 392 out-of-town kids play in our tournament.
Well, see, and that's more than I anticipated, so the numbers are even going higher. So
It's very specific.
I drove out through there on Sunday afternoon, about 1:30 or so, and the only parking spots that you could find up by the soccer fields were at the very far west end. There were very few of them. It was packed. Lucas was telling me that there was only 8 teams because they were having the finals that day. They had a lot more teams the day before. I couldn't imagine what it was like out there. It was packed. With baseball going on. It really looked good.
Is there retention?
Great.
Good job.
Good job.
Is there potential, Lucas, for more tournaments like that?
There is. I'm actually putting on 2 other tournaments this year. We'll have one the first weekend of August, and we'll have one the weekend of October 27th as well. And if everything goes the way I would like it to go, those 3 tournaments will happen every year from here on out. And I'd like to thank, Steve and Chris for letting us use the facilities. We got a lot of compliments off our fields. Chris, the guys are doing a great job. Mark and Mr. Carwell, they're doing an excellent job maintaining the facilities, doing the upkeep. The fields look spectacular. I had a team coach from Dallas tell me that our fields are 100 times better than theirs in the Dallas Metro. And to me, that means a lot. That says a lot of the upkeep and everything that the guys are putting in to Akron. So I'd like to thank Chris and Steve and the whole community for letting us put on these tournaments.
I think it'd be a good idea if you came up with specific ideas on how to maximize that potential and take it to staff and council. That's what I think. Okay, yes, sir.
No, I just think it's great. I'd like to piggyback on that and what baseball does. And Chris is working with a lot of different organizations. We're trying to even expand off OK Kids into things like with USSSA, also adult tournaments. We're trying to get, our goal is, really from, around May 1st to the end of August, try to have something almost every weekend out there at the park. And outside folks coming to town. I think that's what's going to really help businesses and obviously helps our funding. Because you'll see in the budget that, you may see the budget increase in recreation, but the revenues are increasing too to help offset that with the program. So we're excited about it. We're doing concessions now. We did $2,500 in concessions and just baseball alone. So we're really seeing the benefits financially, and I hope everybody in the community appreciates what those fields are doing for the community. So thank you.
Stuff. Okay, audience participation? Seeing none, consider a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Councilman Hewland?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Councilman?
Councilman Little? And Mayor?
Yes.